Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. It's Thursday and we are together. Today, we're talking about why you don't have what you want and how to change that. I will tell you that I was sitting down with my husband, who's very analytical, very logical, trying to put together a vision board, taking him through the process of visualizing or dreaming up what it would, if it were a dream come true to have these things happen in all these categories of our life, what it would be, what would that look like for you? And sometimes for very analytical people who are highly detail oriented and logical, it's hard to get them to that creative brain where it's like anything is possible. Do you believe it? And so this kind of was inspiring me in this because I said to him, what do you want? And he didn't know. He couldn't just say. And it was shocking to me. It was almost frustrating to me. And I was like, okay, well, first problem, if you don't have what you want, the problem might be that you don't know what you want. Knowing what you want has to be the first piece of this puzzle. So, have you asked yourself, what do I want in my career or business, in my marriage or my relationship, in my community? We have communities everywhere. It could be your community at church, the gym, your neighborhood, your kids' schools. I mean, the list goes on. What do you want when it comes to your physique, your health, your wellness, your appearance, your financials? What do you want? What do you want your financials to look like? What are the opportunities that you hope and long for? If you aren't clear about where you're going, you will likely be exactly in the same spot that you are now 5 years from now. So let me say it a different way. If you don't know where you're going in 5 years, you're already there. Now, that was told to me once and it stuck with me forever. What is the guiding light leading you every single day? The thing to look towards, to look forward to. I really, really desire that personally, and you might also desire that. So, how do we fix this first problem, which is maybe you don't know what you want, and that's why you're not getting what you want because you don't know what it is? It's asking yourself the right questions, getting crystal clear. Then you have to see it, say it, read it, and write it. And I would recommend every single day building it into your daily routine. And for some of you, maybe sitting down to write out your gratitude every day is a habit now. So stack this with your habit. Here's the 5 things I'm grateful for. Here are the 5 things that I want and I'm in the process of getting. And it can be I would say as specific and clear as possible. And when I say see it, say it, seeing it, how can you put visuals in place that represent the things you want? This is where a vision board comes in. Images that relate back to what you've written down clearly that you want. And it is so powerful when I look through vision boards from my past to see all the things that came to life. It is really, really cool because your brain has this thing called RAS, which is your reticular activating system. And when you put this in front of you on a regular basis, your subconscious brain is working towards that without you being aware of it. On the flip side, by the way, friends, your subconscious brain is doing this to you on social media. So if your algorithms are set up in a way that make you feel icky after you're on social media, or maybe you become cynical or just have a crappy attitude or negative or depressed or anxious or sad, that is something to pay attention to because your subconscious brain, your automatic brain is at work on your behalf or maybe without your control the majority of the time. So you really have to be protective over what it is that you want, then see it, say it, write it, read it every single day. The next problem, why aren't you getting what you want and how to change it? Well, the next problem is wanting too much at the same time. I am a big believer that you can have it all. You just can't have it all at the same exact time. There's always got to be something that gives. For somebody who's very detail oriented, like my husband I brought up, he goes through something called paralysis by analysis. If there are too many areas to focus on, it often leads us to change at a snail's pace. So, fine, you want to do 10 different things with your life. Great, but you might not see things move rapidly. It doesn't mean they're not moving, but what if you hone it down to your top two things that you want and go all in, be relentless? Then you're going to move at a different pace. So wanting everything at once, not a thing. You have to say, what do you want most? So this is the fix. Choose the very best for you, even if the very best is the thing that scares you the most. It takes, well, we'll get to that, but a lot of faith, right? So pick that best thing. Man, out of everything that I want, which carries the greatest impact long term? What is that for you? Choose it, own it, define it, believe it. And that's really the next thing is, oh, by the way, and just burn the ships. Okay. So you have to have this level of desire. What that thing that you truly at the end of the day want, whether it's top one or two things. For our household, we chose one. We said if this one thing happened, everything else would kind of come in line or be part of it. Like this is the most important thing for us to focus on as a couple, as a partnership, right? So I would highly recommend one, maybe two things that you go all in on, and then burning the ships means there's no looking back. There is no plan B to this. You are all in. It's got to be that level of desire. So that one thing you pick has to be the thing you truly want and desire the most that will have the most impact long term. The next problem of why you don't have what you want and how to change that is lack of faith. It is this unbelief, this feeling like, well, other people have gotten that, but it probably won't happen for me. That is a lack of faith that you're meant for this too. I used to be there for many, many years. I would look at photos of women who have transformed their lives, their physiques. I struggled with obesity since the age of 5 years old until the age of 39. I was yo-yoing every diet you can tell me about. I probably have been on. Like, I remember doing the HCG diet. That's the hormone you produce when you're pregnant. And what they would do is give you these lozenges that you would suck on, like a cough drop type of thing. You would have that, and then it would give you HCG hormone, and then you would only eat 500 to 800 calories a day. Well, of course, I lost tons of weight. It was so rapid that I had loose skin. It was not great. And then you put all the weight back and then some. For every diet somebody goes on, the average weight gain is 3 pounds. Diets don't work. Lifestyle changes do, but they only work long term if you have a complete identity shift. So the question for you, if you have lack of faith, you have to see yourself having this. You have to actually believe that it's for you. I'll never forget when I started committing myself to the gym and the program I was on. And one of the big shifts for me is I started listening to the professionals who said, Katie, do this exact thing. Now, in the past, I would be like, well, you don't know my life. I have kids. I have these businesses. I have this sleep issue. I have this and that excuse. And I would always argue for my limitations. And let me tell you another quote that was said to me once I'll never forget. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. But friends, if you believe in the potential that you have, if you actually believe it, you get to move into it. So the difference this time around, and I'm 3.5 years in, is that I just shut my mouth, stopped with the excuses, stopped arguing for my limitations, and I just showed up. So shut up, show up, and do it the work. Put in the reps. For me, game changer. And I'll never forget when I looked in the mirror one day and I got emotional. And I texted my trainer because it was all virtual. It's always virtual. And I said, I finally see her. I got a glimpse of her in the mirror, the me underneath all this. I could see her. She was there. I almost get emotional thinking about it because I'll never forget it. You have to see yourself having or being the thing you most desire. Place visuals everywhere. I used to be a weirdo and I would take a little bitty picture of my face and cut it out like a creepster and put it on top of the dream body that I wanted. Oh my gosh. And then literally I'd put that like on my vision board or around my house, like in my office. Like it was like if somebody were to see it, I'd be embarrassed because it was clear. I will never forget too. I chose Jennifer Lopez, who at her age, like, come on, what is going on here? So I remember, like, I don't know, this is like 10 years ago that I chose her and I put my face on her and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want. You got to believe it. You got to see it. Put visuals everywhere. Believe you actually can become the person who has what they really want. So if what your big desire is has nothing to do with what your physique or health or whatever, it still requires an identity shift. You still have to become the person who has this type of achievement or this type of life, this type of business. That's the identity shift that will take place. Now, I think about young individuals who are kind of in the dating phase where they're hoping to get married for the first time. And I'll often think, like, are you, like, you all have some high standards around here, okay? And it's funny, too, because some of the standards are like, I want a cowboy. I want the kind of man that's going to run the Yellowstone Ranch. And I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. And I'm trying to convince them, like, there are white collar boys who are going to be really great men, too, and still have grit and all the sexy attributes that a cowboy has. You know, it's kind of funny. But you have to ask yourself, am I the woman yet that is deserving of the kind of dream man that I want? Men should ask themselves the same thing. Men have wild standards, especially, this is what I've noticed, men over 50, over 60, looking for their second marriage, whether it's, you know, ended in divorce or whatnot. And they have ridiculous expectations of who they think they're going to end up with. You know, my man loved me through thick and thin. He loved me. The majority of our marriage, I was over 200 pounds. Always loved me, chose me at that phase and stage of my life. So now, if some dudes are trying to talk to me, I just am like friendly. I'll be your bro, but there is no way I'm entertaining that flattery because you would never probably talk to me as my former self. And my man did. Okay. So I am a loyal woman. And these men are thinking they're going to end up with some woman who's around their age, but happens to be like snatched like a 20-year-old. Like, come on. Are you in a position that you are the one worthy of the kind of dream person that you want to end up with? Maybe not, because you got some things to work on in your own life. You got to start there. So you got to become the person who has the thing they truly desire. And you got to believe it. It starts with faith. You have to believe that it is possible for you. And friends, it is. You know, I would always hear people say, like, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I'd be like, you don't know me. You don't know my life. And there I go again, trying to argue for my limitations. I promise you that proof is out there. Believe if it can happen for other people, why not you? You're not especially exempt. You are special, but you're not so special that you can't get to that same place in life. They're not smarter than you. They don't have more connection. Maybe they have more of a network now, but it's not nothing that you see in others is impossible for yourself. Unless you say to me like, well, I want to be an Olympic, you know, 100-meter dash runner. Okay, well then we probably if you are 50 years old, that's not happening for you at this point. But I doubt anybody listening has that as their dream thing that they've always desired for themselves. So, how do we fix this? You need to start following healthy things on social media that represent the you who embodies the type of person that has this kind of life, or follow the people who have those achievements. Listen, learn, embrace, start reading inspirational books to help you learn, to grow, to lean into change. Start listening to the people who've been there and done that, by the way, and done it well. Who has already accomplished or has the thing that you want? Can they offer you advice? Is there a way for you to learn from them? Be around them. Put yourself out there in those situations. Because if you want it bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes. And then really it's like, why not you? Why not now? If not now, then when? The next problem of why the heck you don't have what you want and how to change that. The problem is you give up too soon. You are giving up too soon. This is a lack of forever commitment. Look, if you're willing to burn the ships, if this desire is so strong in you and you're burning the ships down, which means there's no going back, this has to be a forever commitment. And the issue with us is we give up too soon. This little formula is consistency plus discipline equals achievement. That's my own little formula. But I promise you, I wrote this book a long time ago. It's an ebook. The secrets to keeping your goals. The secret is consistency and discipline. You want to keep it. If you want to have it and keep it, stay consistent, stay disciplined. I also want to share this acronym for time. So picture the word time. You have to give it time. You have to give it time. You have to give it time. Time stands for the investment multiplies eventually. Yes, your girl came up with that. Your investment multiplies eventually if you don't give up. So resolve that you won't give up until this happens. What is that for you? Does this look like I'm not going to give up for 5 years? I'm not going to give up for 10 years. I'm not going to give up for 15 years, 20, whatever that looks like. Here's the stats. This is very painful. 92% of people fail to reach their goals, and 98% of people towards the end of their life feel they never obtained their deep desired dreams. That's a study by University of Scranton. So that's like the majority. That is very discouraging. If you literally just don't stop, you're going to eventually overcome everybody else to get what you want because everybody else is going to stop. Like, kind of, this is cool to hear. Like, if you don't give up, you know that the majority are going to give up. And if you just stick it out, if you just persevere, you'll get there. You know, of course, I believe in Jesus and I read the Bible almost every single day, if not every day. And there's this scripture that says, for you have need of endurance, so that after you've done the will of God, you'll receive what is promised. What is the hope you live for? You have to have perseverance. Life is about perseverance. You know, we're told that a new habit can take about 66 days to create. We're often sold these 21-day challenges. Well, that's just to get people on board. That's marketing. But the real truth is, this is the actual truth, that it really takes between 250 and 335 days. And this depends on the person, the complexity of the behavior shift. That's over a year. That is over 1 year. So if you've just started some new routine that's going to help you reach your goals and you're discouraged because it's been now, 2 months, maybe 3? Well, this is the issue, friends. You've got to give it 12 months. And by the way, I'm in marketing. Maya powers this podcast. It's a marketing software. And whenever we work with a new salon or spa, med spa, barbershop, we say, look, give it 1 year, period. It takes a year to see the full data play out, to see your full ROI play out. Give it the year minimum it's going to take, depending on the behavior shift. Now, I'll tell you from my own personal experience, I'm over 3 years in and finally feel like I'm kind of at a maintenance place with my physique and wellness. So that's over 3 years. It didn't have, oh, year one. It kind of just depends on where your start point is as well. So don't give up. And what's the fix to this? The fix is to pre-decide. You decide in advance. Here's my timeline. Here's my commitment. Is this a forever commitment? Is this a 5-year commitment? It depends on the goal you're setting, the thing that you want. Every situation is different. But pre-decide, and then do not let yourself off the hook. Be your best accountability partner. Nobody else is coming to rescue you. People got their own stuff. You're going to have to show up for yourself and be your own best friend, your own accountability. You know, I would think about the movies that move me the most emotionally. Think about it for you. What are the movies that you watch that bring you to tears? You're just like, oh my gosh, this is so, yes, triumphant. You want them to succeed. And there's a lot, there's Rudy, the movie Rudy about that football player. And he never got anywhere, but he still showed up. He served others the whole time. And he finally got a shot. 1993, that movie came out. In 1994, The Shawshank Redemption came out. The Pursuit of Happiness, Moneyball, Slumdog Millionaire. All these movies, people overcome. And it takes sometimes years for them to have like this simple level of gratification or a win under their belt. They never give up. Pre-decide that you're never going to give up either, because good things take time. And again, time is the investment multiplies eventually. Okay, friends. So the last problem here, why you're not getting what you want and how to change it. The problem is you don't say no. Oh my gosh. You don't say no to people. Well, they're my family, Katie. Well, they're my colleagues. Well, they're my staff. Gosh, then they could leave me. They're my everything is tied to people, fear, lack of boundaries. You don't say no to places, whether that be virtual or in person. If you're always hanging out on certain things with Reddit, it is time to check yourself, because that's probably not helping you have a very positive mindset. Oftentimes, good place to learn, get details, hear feedback, but some good places can also bring some evil, exposed things that you got to keep a lookout. I think that we're foolish to think that because we're older, we aren't so easily manipulated. I once heard this former Secret Service agent say, if you enjoy hearing positive affirmations, like if that's one of your love languages, if somebody telling you like, great job, you're awesome, you tend to be the most easy to manipulate. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love getting great feedback and hearing that I've done well. I want that, good job. You did great. You worked hard. That a boy, gotta let it go. Gotta let go of getting the that a boy. Because you might be easily manipulated. It could be online, it could be on social media, or it can be in person. So what do you need to say no to when it comes to people and places? Now, family, yeah, I can't, get rid of my mom in my life forever. I mean, some of you are probably like, I did, I don't know. I don't hope that for anybody. That's very painful. You can, however, set heavier boundaries and limit your exposure. I saw this really funny meme on social media once that said, I did 20 years of sorry, let me start over. I undid 20 years of therapy after spending 2 hours with my family. How many of you get so triggered and pissed off around certain people? Well, you might need to limit that exposure. Just keep your mouth shut, just be unbothered. There's another pre-decide. Pre-decide that when you're around them, how you're going to just respond, because it's all the bull crap's going to come up and you're going to have to sit there and just take it. Don't defend yourself. Just appreciate your feedback, and just move on, because tomorrow you don't have to be around them and you can move on with your with your life. You don't say no to things and activities, some that really are hurting you. They're hurting you. They're not helping you get closer to what you want in life. They're actually preventing it. So if you're constantly going to, Thirsty Thursdays to see live music because that's a thing and your friend group does it, it actually could be hurting you. And it might be that painful thing that you need to let go if you're going to move into who you truly need to become. It's going to hurt to move on from people that you actually care about. But the real people who love you are going to accept you in your fully realized version of yourself. What's the fix to this? If you have a problem saying no, or you just aren't saying no, really the fix is asking yourself, what are you going to say yes to? Make it clear. I'm going to say yes to this, this, and this. If it's not these three things, it's a no. Say no to everything else. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Just because it's good doesn't mean it's the very best for you. And really, you need to stop being a passive participant in your own life. That's kind of the people-pleasing side of things. And that can be tied to pride too, because you might think, well, if I don't show up and do and help with who will? It's like, are you the only one that everybody's relying on? No, there's other people. And by the way, if you step down, somebody else might step up who this is like going to accelerate their dream goals in the way they've always hoped, when it's not the thing you always hope for. So really getting crystal clear on what you want, saying yes to those things that lead towards it, and no to everything else. Friends, this is the year. This is the year that we burn the ships. We move towards what we want. We set great boundaries. We say yes to the right things, no to the wrong things. And we just trust the process, surrounding ourselves with the right people, places, and things that actually accelerate our growth, and giving it time. Not giving up, giving it the time that it needs to fully blossom. You'll get there. I believe it. I hope today has gotten you fired up. I love being with you. If you love this platform, please take a moment, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening, so that more people like you will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.
Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.